This is where we need to be. So that's what we're gonna move. Almost done messing with me down there, bud? I will never put a small piece right here. It might be twice the work, but we're gonna make 2 pieces. Okay.
The best of the rest will really be the worst of the first.
Benny, how many times now has it started raining and stopped, dude? My back's soaked at least. We're gonna sweep this in. Polymeric sand blocks usually 98 to 99% of the water that goes through the joints. Good morning, everyone. Back on the job here. It started raining pretty heavy yesterday, so we did a little scramble and just got out of here. But I'll show you where we're at. Got our top landing and step done. Looks really good. You know, we went back and forth on this job a few times of whether or not we wanted to keep this squared off or curved, but we like to do a lot of curves. It kind of adds a lot of character, and you know, when it's executed correctly, it's an awesome part of the job when you're looking at it. These outer radiuses, this is really tight. It's a lot easier cutting the outer radius because the brick you mess up on this side doesn't matter. You start getting to inner radiuses the opposite way. That's when the cuts become a little bit tougher, but the end result is just way different than what you can get with squared off edges. So the plan is today, finish laying this, and what we're going to be doing is, this is a 6-foot step that we had to do to get us far enough out to keep a bigger flower bed on the side than what we had before. So the walkway is going to go straight off of wherever it meets, about 4 feet. 2 feet of this step's probably going to be in the mulch bed, but then we're going to go straight and we're going to curve around the bush, and then that whole area down there is going to be a big landing area. So we'll get to that when we get down there, but it's going to be the same way, same pattern. Benny's grabbing a bucket of chip stone with the ditch witch so we can finish screeding this area. This area right here is screeded up a whole pipe length, so I'm going to start laying it out. I got to get a string from the corner of that step to the driveway, squared along with the porch, and then I can start laying in my border brick on this side and the regular brick on the middle. So let's just get right into the day, guys. This is where we need to be, so that's what we're gonna move and adjust however we need to. I think it's pretty close right now, but we're gonna go right up to the porch with the tape measure. We're at 102 3/4. So we're gonna go down as far as we can to where the porch is. Snipe it out, Benny. Snipe it out through the bushes. Bang. All right, we're hitting the porch. We're at 101 3/4. It needs to move over an inch, Benny. Right there, dude. 102 3/4. I'll check this side again. 102 3/4. All right, so we got our guideline. That's the edge of the walkway, and then about 4 feet down at the end where Benny is in, we're gonna curve out slightly, and this is where we're gonna start laying on the left side. We're gonna stop right there. I'm hoping Benny doesn't keep messing with my string. Almost done messing with me down there, bud? Okay. Then we're gonna hop over there and then we'll start laying it out. And this is gonna be straight for a while. So we're gonna try to, you know, our measurement is we want a 4-foot walkway, but wherever the edge of a line lands is where we're gonna stop. That's closest to 4 feet, just so that we don't have to make any cuts going down on either side for a while. This side will curve around the bush, but this side we'll be able to just go straight for a while and then flail out. So let's keep going. Benny's almost screeded and out of my way, and then he'll be able to screed a pipe over, and then I can just keep going all the way. Alright guys, we're laid out up to the pipes. Benny's got that screeded. I think it's pretty close, so I'll be able to pop those pipes out and keep going. But I like to finish things as I go, and I wanted to go over these cuts with you. Obviously, it's not gonna fit a full brick there. The way I do it is I work on both sides and work to the middle, for the purpose of when you look around on each side, you don't see cuts on the edge. You want the edges to be nice full bricks for the transition. And even this piece right here, I will never put a small piece right here. It might be twice the work, but we're gonna make 2 pieces. So we're gonna put the brick that we want in the middle to split that up, and we're gonna literally trace the brick right here. Now we'll take a sliver off each one and put a full brick in the middle, and it will blend in a lot nicer. I'll show you. All right, steel TS 420. Once you hear it want to give, you put your choke down, and then start again. Tight fit, nice tight fit. So now, as you can see, much better than having a small cut where your eyes will always go right to it, but we have it even in the middle, full piece in the middle of the 2 cuts to blend it in even more. So that's the proper way to finish it off in my mind. Same thing with right here. I did it up on top, medium piece, big in the middle, and I think I did it over here too. Yep, right here. Medium, full piece. All right, we're looking good, It just poured on us for like 5-10 minutes. Now the sun's out. Welcome to Massachusetts, I guess, right? So we got the walkway probably more than halfway laid out. Obviously we have this whole landing area to do, but I'm gonna start probably fading it in right now with the bump out. I don't like to go too straight and then do a quick bump out. I like a nice slow transition. So I'm gonna paint a line with marking paint, just kind of try to follow that, but it'll end up being me just laying the pavers out further than where they have to go so that we can end up cutting it. So I'll probably stop putting border brick in where I'm at now and just lay regular pavers that all overlap just a little bit so that I can cut the edges off. While I do that, Benny's probably gonna screed this one more pipe length so I can pull that out, and then I'll keep laying, and we'll lay all these pavers over to the left. Buckets.
Yeah. Ratchet strap.
Okay.
The best of the rest were really the worst of the first.
I heard we need a ratchet strap.
Yeah.
So let's get him one. Alright guys, got some more laid. Starting to get into the open area now. Benny's about to finish screeding that one area over there. Then we can take all our pipes out and start working our way into the corner. I did want to talk about, I'm sure some of you guys might have some questions on the pattern. We don't use a pattern. I have a few things that I don't like to see and we look out for and we don't do. One of which is a 4-way. And this is what I mean by a four-way. When any of your pavers meet up like this, right, and then the next one would meet in like this. So this four-way is not good. You'll almost never see any in our work that we do, depending on the style of paver. Best thing to avoid when you're looking for a random pattern, because when you have something like this, it looks like it's a spot where the patio's met before, and it's almost like an addition. It's not locked in. So that's not good. Another thing is we're always looking for as straight joint lines as possible. That's why we always use a string when we lay our first course in, so it's very straight. And the third is long joint lines. Usually won't go more than like 3 or 4 pavers long until you break it up. So we have 1 paver, 2 paver, 3, break it, broke the joint, half paver, 1 paver, broke the joint, and even going the sideways. You don't want a lot of these going all the way across. Sometimes you can't avoid it, but you always want to break it up so it doesn't look like the line's going straight across. Those are about the only few things we look out for. You'll see me tapping them down. Even though it's screeded nice and flat, it's good to set them in. Some pavers are a bit higher than others, so we settle them all down and make them look nice. But four-ways are the most, you know, don't do's in our book over here, especially when you get the big extra large patterns. I know that there's some pavers out there where you just have to send 4-ways because of the way it is, but when we use these patterns where it's 3 sizes, you can always find a way to not put a 4-way. Just takes a little bit more thinking and figuring it out, but gives it a much better random look. I'm going to set up some piles of pavers and we're going to drop some more in and keep moving. This was something that we couldn't really set up 2 pipes, so we set one in the middle and you balance your level on that and you screed it at whatever pitch you need, which is what Benny did over here. It's a good little trick when you're in a small area like that and you can't really set up 2 sets of pipes. This grade right here needs a little bit of hand troweling. If you screed it with just a level, it'll be a little they'll all come to points. So I'm going to pull these pipes out, throw a little bit more chipstone in there, and I'm going to trowel it all out to where it needs to be, and I'm going to lay whatever pavers I can without making cuts right now, and then we'll go back, lay out the border and start cutting. There's going to be a lot of cuts in this area, that's for sure. We still got to cut the whole driveway clean, have to cut this outer radius. This is going to be an inner radius cut, and then we got cuts around the whole edge. So a lot of cutting. Let's get into it. These are just a 1-inch inner diameter galvanized steel gas pipe, and you can get them at any home improvement stores. I think they're usually $20 to $30 for a 10-foot pipe, but they're nice and strong, last you a while and stay straight. Not good to use that the plastic conduit or thinner aluminum piping, because it bends after a while. Hitting it a few times with a hammer, you can get a dip in the pipe, which will end up putting a dip in your walkway, so no good. Gotta be honest with you guys out there that are still using dense grade or gravel and sand / stone dust. We just haven't done that in years. This 3/4 inch stone topped with a chip stone on top, crushed stone, is really just the best way we found to do these patios and walkways. Water goes right through them. Nice and sturdy. Sand can shift and move a lot more than stone can. Just a great way to go. Alright guys, this is one of those times you wish you had 4 extra patio bricks. This side's pretty much good, but I don't have pieces to extend this a little bit, so I'm gonna have to wait till I get some cuts to try to piece them in. But I have used all my patio pavers, and I think I'll still be able to get by with it. I'll probably have some cuts I can put into here to extend it to where the border goes. Really not be fun to be like 2 patio bricks short, honestly. I'm gonna make some cuts on one side or the other, see what I have left, see if I can work with it. If not, I'm gonna have to probably make a call and see if we can get a few more, which stinks though because you have to buy a full layer on the pallet. So we'll see how it goes. We might be able to make it work. I'm gonna lay the border bricks out to where I want them so we can make our line, cut it. Benny, how many times now has it started raining and stopped, dude? My back's soaked.
At least 6 or 7 times.
Jeez.
It's like a 15 minutes on, 15 minutes off.
Looks good from up here though.
It does.
It is pouring out right now though. My back's wet. If this rain would stop, we could probably get done a little quicker. I ain't getting wet. Well, I mean, I'm already wet, but you know. You're definitely wet, dude. Look at
Soaked.
Look at your glasses.
Feels good on my bug bites.
Yeah, washing the mosquitoes away. Alright guys, we got the border laid out around this holly. I know some of you guys may be wondering why didn't we rip this flower bed out. I've been wondering the same thing, so I don't know what to tell you. But we got it curved around the bush. Looks pretty good. I got the line traced with a red crayon pencil. So we're gonna pull all these bricks up, put them off to the side. I'm gonna score this and then we're gonna cut them individually because this is an inner radius cut. Alright guys, sorry I stopped filming for a while so we can get the job done. But here is the end result. That looks awesome. Up to our Caledonia 6-foot granite step. That's where I landed. Looks good. Nice area for him to maybe get a storage container for a hose. Leave it right there when he needs it. Buckets, you enjoy the work we do, bro?
Yeah.
It's nice looking back at that, huh? Morning guys, it's Monday. We finished this up on Thursday. We're gonna polymeric sand the joints. I'll show you the material we're using at least, but it's Alliance, made by Alliance polymeric sand, and we have the slate gray color. So that's what we're going to be using. But I did want to show you the difference with when the pavers are dry compared to wet. It's definitely a little bit of a difference. That's why some people pay to get it sealed with a wet look. But even the dry look I think is really nice. Fades in with the house a little bit more. But this is finished product before poly sand. I'm actually really happy it's dry. It's about 8 o'clock right now in the morning in the fall. So usually the surfaces are all pretty wet. But looks good, ready to poly. Oh, and we're also here to loom and seed the edges. Forgot to say that. So once the grass and the flower bed's all raked off nice, ready for mulch, that'll be a big difference too. Watch you forward a little bit, Buckets. Good. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing.
Guys, there's a baby deer behind me. Wish the GoPro zoomed more. I don't know if that's a deer call, but come here. Come here. Come here, bud. Come here. Come here, bud. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, bud.
Getting plowed by the dad.
Come here. Oh. What's the matter? Gone. Heard something.
Yeah.
Either that or heard her dad calling. Heard the dad calling. Dude, if that deer
Came up to us.
Bro.
I mean, it's
Dude, what a cool thing to capture, dude, huh?
absolutely.
You're staring me down. Alright, we got our poly sand spread out for our first sweep through. Got all the loom and seed and grading done and the mulch bed done before we did this, so we can not worry about making a mess on it afterwards. But we're gonna sweep this in. Alright, so we'll just continue that throughout the whole area. And then once we sweep it off good and all the joints are filled for the first time, we're going to use our hand tamper and tamp it so the sand settles a little bit more, and then sweep through once more time. Alright guys, I already swept in this area right here and tamped it with the hand tamper and just a pad. You can use a compacted pad, but this is just a piece of, like, forget what it's called, but it goes over the subsoil and you can lay pavers on it, and your excavation can be a little bit thinner, but it's just kind of like a dense foam. So you put that on the pavers, just tamp it, and it does that, settles all the sand in. So I got to do the same thing up here now. I got it all swept in. This is what it looks like before you tamp it. You fill the joints right up. Let me show you just how I hand tamp it. There is a lot of, I mean, depending on the trade, there's a lot of ways to tamp when you're doing the poly. We've used all sorts of different things. Sometimes you just got to deal with what you got. Our small compactor's down right now with the pull cord broken. And this is plenty enough compaction you need just to settle the sand in a little bit. As you can see, even with just hand tamping with the pad, it settles the poly really good. So again, it's faster, a little bit more efficient with a small plate compactor and a pad, but you can still get it done with simple tools if you're ever in that bind. So don't be too worried about that, especially in a small application like this. If you got a big patio, hand tamping just takes forever. So that's why you want the plate compactor, but this will do for small walkway installs. It's not a problem. All right, we got this area up to the holly bush here, poly sanded, tamped, and then poly sanded again. So now we just got a bunch of small particles on the top that we're going to hit with the leaf blower. So let's do that real quick. I'll show you. You don't usually hit it with too high of throttle. You just keep it low throttle, and you don't point it directly at the pavers, but kind of above them. But let's do that with the Red Max. Alright guys, we're blowing down up to here. No matter what size project I do, I try to do the poly sand in small increments from start to finish. Now this area is done. Any of you guys out there that have ever done the poly sand know if anything happens with rain while you got poly on top of the pavers, there's a very good chance of it staining the brick. Rain, water, anything that could happen. I mean, there's horror stories out there everywhere about it happening to people, and you literally have to replace the whole area that got stained. So that's kind of what I try to do. I got this area done, so now if anything happened, I know it's a nice day out, there's no rain coming or in the forecast, but you never know what could happen between rain or even other increments, a hose going off or something around the job site. But if it were to happen right now, we'd be all set. All blowing down. That's what the joint should look like before watering time. Let's get the hose set up and water it down. That's the most crucial part. When we do this poly sand, any kind of pitch or anything we have, which is every application, you start at the low point. You know why, Pat?
Well,
Pop quiz.
So, because if you ran it from the top, it's gonna puddle and it's gonna wash out everything from the bottom. So you work away from the bottom to the top.
Benny, he just got an A+.
Wow.
Right there, what he said. We want to set the lower part, lower grade, with water first, so that when the water starts coming down, it's already set and on its way to drying.
It's right in the sun too, so.
Oh yeah. Shower attachment. Try and get that spot right there because the hose is leaking. All right, so this is the most debated topic, guys, in poly sand, is how much water you put down on it, dude. I'm gonna show you guys. how much water you put down. Oh my gosh. Always have a guy doing hose management too, like Benny's doing. His job's the most important. Not enough water is like 99% of the time why poly sand fails. Or not enough material in the joint. You know when people do like half the joint of like something else, and then half the joint of poly? Don't do it.
A lot of half joints.
Alright. Just tangled myself up. Polymeric sand blocks usually 98 to 99% of the water that goes through the joints, which is why you'll see the water running right down the walkway afterwards. It seals up really tight, prevents weeds, water from getting in your base from the surface. You guys see this water coming down with all that white foam? Some people get worried when they see that foam. That's what you want to see.
No, I do know that we have one free bag of 50-pound grass seed at Lansing Depot.
Oh, really? You got charged for it?
Yeah, so I picked it. I had ordered it, and then
Oh, you just didn't
by the
grab
time
it.
I pulled out a Massasoit, I was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, you know what? I forgot."
Yeah, at least we get the receipt.
Alright, so that's enough. Definitely up there. That's what happens when you have a steep pitch too, Benny. You see it? Get a little bit of washout, but that would be a lot worse if we started at the top and came down. So you can just kind of get your hand in there while it's wet, form the joints up a little bit with the stuff that's washed out, but you got to do it pretty quick. If this walkway wasn't so steep, it wouldn't do that, but all right, we are done. It's pack up time, huh guys?
Time to bounce.
Clean up, clean up.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
So with the severity of the pitch of the walkway, there was a little bit of cleanup with the poly, but if you ever have washout onto your bricks, just use the shower attachment and just wash all the sand off is the best thing to do. Let me show you what it looks like. So these things right here, a little bit of sand and grit in some of the texture spots. It's really not something you have to worry about. The polymers usually aren't in that, especially if you've watered it really heavy. So when everything dries and the polymeric sand is hardened, usually the best thing to do is go through with some kind of soft bristle brush and blower, and then blow it off. Then just hose the whole thing down again, just with a shower attachment, nothing crazy. And sometimes what you'll get after you spray it and when you start walking on it for the first day or two is it feels sticky under your feet. That's just with the residue that's on there. It's not going to stain anything. It's not going to always be there. Once you wash it down a couple times or sweep it and wash it, that feeling will go away, and then you're going to have some nice hardened up joints that are going to prevent weeds and interlock everything together. So I think it came out good. Walkway's done. Loom and seeds done. This job's done. Time to get out of here. Say bye, Ben and Pat.
Bye.
Yep.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. I hope you guys enjoyed this throwback project from 2021. It was the first year filming for YouTube, and when I look back on it now, it's just crazy how different I film now. I just wasn't as comfortable with the camera. I kind of moved it around a lot, and I just didn't quite have an idea of how I wanted to film back then. And I think it shows a little bit, but I've learned a lot with video editing and hardscaping since then, but it's cool to look back on sometimes. But either way, you guys know the deal. Until the next one, God bless. Peace.